I should probably start talking right now. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. I'm Miley, and welcome to my world. In my last video, if you haven't seen it, I'll put a link in the description down below. I started to make and decorate cards for my friends and family. Well, I have a long list here of friends and family I would like to send cards to still, so I am just going to continue on with the fun. The next people on my list are the little munchkins in my life. I have 3 nephews and 1 niece. I really miss them right now, so I'm gonna send them cards. Before I get started, I need to
do some research.
By research, I mean just text their parents. I need to double check that they're still into the same things. Jovi, still into JoJo Siwa. Lawson, still like Pokemon. Okay, got a text from my sister-in-law, and my niece is indeed still into JoJo Siwa. Now I just need to double check what my nephew is into. He is 3. He's 3. LOL, little bit of everything. Motorcycles. Of course he's into motorcycles. This is his father. Baseball, basketball, ninjas, superheroes, and dinosaurs. Okay, so really a little bit of everything. We have a lot to work with here. I got a response from my brother. My nephew is indeed still into Pokemon. I then asked him what his favorite Pokemon was, and it is in fact Charizard, so we have that to work with. Research complete. Now that I have double checked what these children are into, I am ready to get started.
I started off with my 6-year-old nephew's Pokemon card. I'm not really a cartoon artist, so please don't judge too harshly. I rarely draw cartoony things. I usually like to stick to more realistic looking things, like those roses. But hey, that's why I like making cards. I usually get to push myself artistically and try new things, and I thought, well, let's just dive headfirst into something new. I started off by sketching out Charizard. Now, I really thought this was not going to go well. Halfway through, I thought I was either going to have to trace him or maybe just print him out on cardstock and cut him out, which is totally something you can do if you do want to recreate this card. I was already in it and committed to trying to draw this Pokemon, and I'm actually super proud with how it turned out. Is it a spot on Charizard? Heck no, but I'll take what I can get. Once my sketch was in a good place, I went back over all those lines with my Prisma black marker, and for the face, I just used a black ballpoint pen because it was smaller detail. And using one of my Prisma gray markers, I drew a little platform for this Charizard to stand on, and that little square I drew at the bottom is a tab I used to attach this Charizard to the card to create a pop-up. I colored him in using my Prisma markers, and honestly it wasn't my favorite choice. I really wish I had started with color pencil because the color wasn't super close, but that's just me being nitpicky. And when I was done, I cut out this little dude, folded that tab, and glued it to one side of the card. Since there wasn't really a good place to put a tab near the top, I created a little tabby tab and attached it to the back, and then attached the Charizard to the other side of the card, and boom, you got yourself a pop-up Charizard. For the front of the card, I kept it pretty simple. I wanted to make it look like a Pokemon ball so that when you open the card, it's like you're choosing your Pokemon for battle. Like, I choose you, slightly deformed Charizard. Since the card I was working with was already red, I used that to my advantage. I just had to make a line with a circle in the middle. I used my black Prisma color to color it in, and then I cut it out, attached it to the card, bada bing, bada boom, you got yourself a Pokemon card. Unfortunately, you can't trade this card and it will not fit in your Pokemon binder. Now your card is ready for battle.
I choose you, Charizard.
Okay, enough of that. Let's go to Rainbow Happy Land for my niece's card. Now this card is loosely based on JoJo Siwa. I don't know much about her except that she wears colorful bows and talks really fast. Oh, maybe I should do the voiceover like I'm JoJo Siwa. Hey guys, what's up? I'm gonna show you how you can get this really cool colorful bow card. Okay, I'm done with this. That was actually very hard to keep that up. I have absolutely no idea how that girl does it. But back to normal Miley. So I started off by drawing and coloring in this bow. Now, this is not an actual rainbow, but it is rainbow inspired. I was just looking at a picture of a JoJo Siwa bow online and just kind of followed the colors that I saw on the bow. While I was coloring this, I realized this is actually the first rainbow inspired thing I have ever made in my life. I have gravitated towards black and, well, black basically from a very young age. Colors do not speak to me, so this was actually pretty nerve-wracking to make. As far as how this bow turned out, I was actually pretty pleased with how the left side turned out, but as you can see for the right side, it is a tragic mess. But I kept pushing forward in hopes that maybe once I added the black outlines, it would help. And as you can see, that right side still looks like crap. When in doubt, sparkle it out. I think I saw that on a dance t-shirt once. Since I had these craft rhinestones laying around, I thought by adding them it might help this sad bow look a little less sad, and I actually think it did help a little bit just to kind of cover up that blending disaster on the right hand side. Once I was done with those rhinestones, I just cut out the bow and glued it to the card. My niece's name is Jovi, and we all call her JoJo. I think that's why she likes JoJo Siwa so much. So I took some of those rhinestones and wrote out JoJo underneath the bow. But secretly I was just hoping that it would help this sad bow along. And once I was done turning the front into Sparkle Town, it was time to decorate the inside. For the inside of this card, I decided to make a unicorn magical pop-up card, cause why not? I started out by sketching out this very detailed unicorn. Honestly, it took me hours. And once I was done sketching it out, I went over those lines with a black marker, added a little bit of color, and also made it look like it was farting a rainbow. Once I was done with that fart tail, I took some computer paper and I traced the circle that is the body of the unicorn, and I cut out about 4 of these circles. Taking 2 of those circles, I folded them in half and glued them on either side of the crease. I then took the rest of the circles, folded them in half, and glued them in the center in between the 2 circles that were already down. And just like magic, this unicorn now has a 3D body. I finished off this unicorn by giving it a colorful mane to match the colorful fart tail. And using the same colors as the mane and tail, I wrote, "Have a magical day." To make these letters pop, I used my black Prisma marker and added some shadow. All jokes aside, I really do love how this card turned out. I think it's super cute and it's perfect for my niece. I'm not going to go through how I made this card for my sister, but I just wanted to show you I used the same method of pop-up, just with a different shape, and this is a super easy way to make a pop-up card. For my final card, it is for the youngest person I made a card for, and it was the hardest card to make. But I had an idea in my head and I was determined to make it work somehow. I started off by drawing 3 small pictures of different sections of a motorcycle, and I wildly underestimated how hard it is to draw a motorcycle. I wasn't going for super realistic, but I also wasn't going for super cartoony, kind of somewhere in the middle, and I'm not being sarcastic when I said it took a long time. After sketching out the sections, I used a combination of colored pencils and my Prisma markers. In my Prisma marker set, I do have this silver gel metallic marker that I used to add highlights and also to draw the spokes on the motorcycle. And after each picture was done, after what seemed like forever, I added a black frame around each picture and then cut them out. And this is the fun part where I got to cover up part of 2 of the pictures that I took a really long time working on. But that was the look I was going for, and I did know this was going to happen. And now that the front is done, it's on to the very complicated inside. I'm telling you guys, this almost defeated me. I started off by drawing a curved line on a new card and cutting along that line 2 times to make it a bit thicker, and then when you open up the card, it should look something like this. Taking a scrap piece of paper, I drew a little man on a little motorcycle and then cut it out. I then cut out a long triangle from that same scrap piece of paper and wrote "pull" on one end, then glued the 2 pieces together. This is the part that I had to get creative with. I think you are looking at the 7th version of this. I took some cardstock and created this wing tab thingy, and I really wish I could explain it better. I attached the non-wing side of this tab to the motorcycle pull tab combo, and I was able to then stick the 2 wings together and stick it through that little sliver that I cut out in the other card. And I was able to pull the little man on that track. This actually took me a very long time to figure out, and it's kind of embarrassing how actually simple it was, but for some reason I just couldn't get there. But once I figured that out, the rest of the card actually was super easy. I drew out a little Grand Canyon inspired design. I kept it pretty simple and not super realistic. I think after the other parts of the card taking so long, I was definitely ready for this card to be done. Once the design was done on the inside, I glued the 2 cards together and wrote "Born to Ride" on the inside, which again, I also think I saw that on a shirt once. And because nothing's ever easy, some of the markers smudged, so I had to add some mountains to the side to cover that up. And this is the card all complete. Born to Ride. And these are all of the cards complete.
And that is it, guys. I really love how each one of these cards turned out, and I also love that I got to push my artistic ability and try new things. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification button so that you know when I post. And now all that's left to do is go mail these cards. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!